Hi, you're listening to Behind the Bib podcast with Lisa Watkins. Real talk for every runner. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Bib, and I am your host, Lisa Watkins. I think I have a really great show for you guys today. It's kind of funny to even call this a show because it's just me sitting at my desk with a microphone and a camera in front of me, but I'm pretending, right, that I'm giving you guys a great show. I really do think it's a great show because I had so much fun this weekend at the Atlanta St. Patrick's Day Parade 5K. I went over to Atlanta to visit my nephew and go dress shopping for my mother the bride dress coming up in May. And I just had the time of my life. And so I wanted to tell all of you about it because I think that this is a great race, especially if you want something no stress, super fun, and super pace inclusive, and you're in the Atlanta area. And I think this is a great one for next year. So today we are going to do that. We're going to talk about this race, and then we're going to, hopefully in a few episodes, maybe next episode, I'm going to start to talk about the walk-run method that I use. It's based on the Galloway method, and if you know me more than 5 seconds, it takes me about 5 seconds to start talking about that method and why I love it so much. So if you're following me on Facebook, or if you're not following me on Facebook, go check it out. Give me a follow, give me a like, respond to some comments or something like that. It helps me get in front of other runners and racers in the Southeast like you. And if you have already listened to me a few times and you hung in there for those first few rough episodes, thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. And if you see me out there on any of our group runs, or we run Huntsville, downtown Huntsville pub runs, say, hey, I'd love to meet you. All right, let's get started. So this weekend, I traveled to Atlanta, Georgia. I wanted to go visit my nephew. He had just redone his fabulous new condo. I've been wanting to see it. And then I also needed to go dress shopping for my mother the bride dress because my daughter's getting married in May. And this Atlanta just has a lot more stores, right? So I talked to my nephew. I was like, hey, I think I might come over and maybe we can go shopping for that dress. And so, but at the same time, I checked to see if there was any local races. And oh my goodness, this 5K started like 2 blocks from my nephew's condo in Midtown. And I was like, oh, heck yeah. It starts 2 blocks over and it's a St. Patrick's Day 5K. Absolutely sign me up. Literally, because that's exactly what I did. I signed up for the race. So Saturday morning comes the race. Oh my gosh. This is the best part. Well, I don't know if it's the best part, but it was a really good part. The race did not start until 9:45 in the morning. I was like, what? 9:45? I could sleep until 8 o'clock. I did, in fact. I slept until 8 o'clock that morning, and I still had time to get up and drink my coffee and have my breakfast and get my race kit on and all of this stuff because the race didn't start till 9:45 in the morning. How wonderful was that? So I get up, I do all the things, and I have this really great glitter that I use. And by the way, if you're a really super serious runner and you're listening to me and you're like, I don't care about face glitter, just scrub 15 or 20 or 30 seconds because I'm going to take a minute to talk about glitter, because I happen to love it for races like this. So for like really fun, like breast cancer awareness races or St. Patrick's Day races or any of the races where you just want to dress up and have fun with it, I have found this really great face glitter. And it even has like little shapes in it, like hearts and 4-leaf clovers and all like shamrocks and all that stuff. And it shows up and it lasts through your whole race. And you can even put it in your hair because I have like dark brown hair, and even the green glitter really shows up in my hair. And so I'll try to post a link to the glitter that I love in the show notes below, because it really is, it's not expensive and it's super great. And I've used it, 100 million times and I still have lots left. So, all right. glitter aside, why I picked this race? Well, because I was going to visit my nephew, and it was a couple of blocks over, and it started at 9:45 in the morning, and I got to dress up in St. Patrick's Day stuff. So all of those things combined, why would I not run this race? It was wonderful. So get there 9:45 in the morning. It's right outside of Fido. I will say the only bathrooms they had was inside Fido. And of course, all of the women, we were lined up out the restaurant. The guys, they run in, they run out, no line. But the women, we had quite a line to have to wait in before we could get the bathroom. So, but that's understandable. This is a neighborhood race, essentially. It's put on by a small race group. And so it's not like they didn't have a big start line, archway. They didn't have a DJ. They didn't have all the music. They didn't have any of that stuff, right? It was just a small neighborhood race, which for Atlanta, I guess a small neighborhood race means there are like 500 to 600 people, because that's exactly what showed up, was 500 to 600 people. There were a bunch of people at this race. And, but it was awesome. It was a great race. And so I will say it was just a little hiccup there trying to get into the bathroom. But just go to the bathroom early and you won't have to worry about it, right? So I got to dress up in St. Patrick's Day stuff. I got to start a race at 9:45 in the morning, and it was a great race. So the weather was awesome. It was like 50 degrees. It was partly sunny. The only thing, there was a little bit of a wind, but not too much. I really couldn't have complained about any of the weather, 100%. And the crowds were good, and everybody was vibing and feeling the whole experience, right? Which is one of the most fun things about it. Like, everybody showed up in their St. Patrick's Day stuff. And I could immediately tell, like, this is not a PR race, right? People are showing up and all kinds of stuff. Now, maybe there were some folks out there that wanted to PR the race, but why would you? I don't know. That's not my vibe for today, and it wasn't a lot of other people's vibes either. So we started the race, real simple little race setup. They had the little starting mat out there, and they did have race day sign up, but it was just like a little table, and you just walked up and you filled out your little your race registration, and they handed you a bib. Like, no big deal, right? So we take off we start from in front of Fido, the restaurant there, and then we take off, and immediately we start, there's like a little rise, and then mostly it's this gradual downhill that turns into one heck of a downhill. And I was just feeling great. Like, everybody was feeling great. And then, because what a way to start off the race with a great downhill vibe like that. It was wonderful. Coming out of the downhill, we enter Piedmont Park, and we turn to the left, and we start to make a circle around Piedmont Park. And we probably spend maybe 2.5 miles or something like that in Piedmont Park. And we come out of Piedmont Park, and we have taken, or we will be taking, the same exact path that we came out, right? So you kind of retrace your steps. So it's like a lollipop type race, where you have the straightaway, and then you make a big circle at the end of it, and then you come back down the straightaway. And that's exactly what this race was. Or maybe it was a shamrock. You could think of it like that, with just one clover. Okay. So we come out, we go down the hill, and we go through Piedmont Park. It's kind of rolling hills through Piedmont Park. So it was really, you have to go up the hills, but then you get to go down the hills. So there's that little trade-off. We got to run by the really cute little dog park that they have there. And it was really actually kind of sweet seeing all of the dogs out there playing and running with us as we were going by. It was really super cute. There's a little bit of a straightaway, and then coming back, you have to go right up that hill that you just rocked coming out of the gates on the downhill, and which there was no big, okay, that's fine. You got the benefit of going down the hill on the way out, so you just, you pay your dues on the uphill on the way back. This is a 5K. It's not like it was a marathon, right? And so I thought, I'll just walk the hill. And I get maybe, how far is that? Like 400 meters, something like that, like one lap around the track from the finish line. I'm like, I'll just go ahead and finish. And I do feel like I finished strong going up that hill, which I was like, okay, I'll take that. And at the very end, you actually get a little medal for this 5K race, which I did not know we were going to do. So that was super great. I will say for a pace inclusive race, I would absolutely, this race was 100% pace inclusive because there was like some 14, 15 minute 5Kers in the very front, but there was also some 60, 70 minute 5Kers who were in the back. And so, and that's the whole vibe of the race. It was super chill the whole time. Folks were just out there to have a good time, right? Which is exactly how a St. Patrick's Day 5K should be. It should just be out there to have a good time and enjoy yourself. And that's exactly what we did. All right, let's talk about that race, that race medal a little bit. And I will give a little shout out. So a little side note here. Thank you to Cheryl who has been listening. And she was like, what was the little pickle juice thing that you use when you were talking about the fueling for your races? I was like, oh my gosh, I showed it to the camera, but I didn't actually describe it. And so I'm going to try to do a better job for you guys to describe the things that I'm actually showing to the camera. Okay. So first, let me show you the little medal here. Here's the little 5K medal. I don't know if you can see that very well. The medal has a pretty good lanyard, and then it says St. Patrick's Parade 5K 10th Annual Atlanta 2025. Oh, I forgot to mention that. So this was the 10th annual time that they have done this 5K, so super great. And I will say the little medal is cute. It's actually metal. It says 10th Annual St. Patrick's Parade on the medal. And then in the very center, it has a 5K cutout. So you can see the 5K cutout in the very center. And the race has has like a shamrock outline on the back. And it's kind of neat because it has a shamrock outline on the inside. And then the design is like this Celtic knot that is woven in between the petals on the shamrock. So really, it's actually a really cute little medal. I like that. And the lanyard that it's on has shamrocks all over it. It's green and black and orange and white and the normal kind of St. Patrick's Day colors. So, love it. Also, the t-shirt wasn't a bad deal either. It's got a cute little leprechaun face on the front. Green shirt, which is, if you're going to get a St. Patrick's Day 5K shirt, it needs to be like green, right? I know we had, the Mardi Gras, the Mardi Gras parade, or the Mardi Gras 5K that was here in Huntsville. The shirt was like an orange shirt, which I didn't quite understand last time. So, normal little race t-shirt, little leprechaun guy on the front of it. It says Atlanta St. Patrick's Day 5K, Atlanta St. Patrick's Day, or St. Patrick's Parade 5K 2025. So they are putting the years on this. They're not recycling their things. And so hats off to them for doing that. So good job. Was it worth it? Yeah, go do this. If you're in Atlanta, or if you're just wanting to take a day trip or like an overnight trip or something like that, or if you've just started running in the area this time next year, absolutely. This race is so fun. You start off, dress up, do the things, get all of the shamrocky things, the run lucky things, the glitter, the hair things, the sunglasses, the hats, all of that stuff. Just go do it and you'll have the time of your life. It was so fun. I will say, would I do it again? Absolutely. If I'm in Atlanta this time next year, I will go do that race again. 100%. We actually spent the rest of that day. We had some errands to run and had to do the Mother of the Bride dress shopping, which thank you to everybody that went with me and helped me because one thing that everyone knows is I am not a shopper. I actually hate it 100%. And I appreciate Lawson going over there and helping me with that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I actually did find a dress for my daughter's wedding, and I just now realized it. My dress is green. I don't know if it was just the vibe the whole weekend, but I ended up with like a Kelly green dress. And so, hey, that's actually pretty great. The following day, I will say, if you're just visiting Atlanta in the area and you don't eat at Fido for the whole Irish pub type thing, we went to Cypress Street Grill, which was actually really great. They have a fabulous patio out there, and a very, very large patio with lots of seating, and just kind of a chill vibe, and it was super good. I just ordered like a normal little chicken BLT sandwich. There was nothing like surprising about it. I did get the grits, and I will say I usually, and I'll probably get some hate mail for this, but I usually put some butter and sugar in my grits, and these grits were so good. They did not actually need butter and sugar, so that was super surprising. So Cypress Street Grill was super yummy. I love the grits. The sandwich was okay. I think it's just like a solid go-to. It's fine. The food is totally fine. It's great. Go try it. With that, the total vibe of the weekend was wonderful. Atlanta was wonderful. Thank you so much for having such a great race, for showing me such a great time, and for having some solid, yummy food choices while we were there. And if I'm there next year, I will absolutely go do it. On the next episode of Behind the Bib, I'm going to try to go over the walk-run method that I use in my handy-dandy little Gym Boss Pro. I'll show you guys that and have it linked so that if you want to employ the walk-run method like I do, you can see how I do it and maybe apply it to your own runs. I love talking about it. I love talking about why it works, how I use it, and why it's the reason, or some of the reason, part of the reason why I'm still running today. I absolutely love the recovery time with it. I would absolutely recommend this race for a pace inclusive race in Atlanta. All right. With that, folks, this is Behind the Bib, and I'm your host, Lisa Watkins, where we have real talk for every runner. See y'all later. You've been listening to Behind the Bib with your host, Lisa Watkins. Real talk for every runner.